Officer Tatum and other black conservatives are whining and complaining online because they believe that the right wing is leaning towards Nick Fuentes' ideology and they're becoming too racist even for their liking. Now listen, Nick, you know that we don't agree on anything. I think you are a despicable human being. But I gotta give you your credit, man. I gotta respect your pimping, man. You even made the black conservative, you even made our sellouts realize they were black for a day. And for that, that's an accomplishment, right? Now, obviously, I disavow all of Nick Fuentes' rhetoric, but I do have to find the humor in black folks who have made a career over the last decade spewing anti-black rhetoric and catering to a white supremacist audience. Those black people are now online finally realizing they're black once they realize that them being a token is no longer needed because now white supremacists and racist ideology is like now a norm on social media and they don't need to hide behind you to say no more. So now they're treating you how they've been treating us, right, for forever, even though they've been telling you, no, you're the good kind. See, these people like a Poetic Flacco, nah, they're the bad kind. They're the bad type of black guys. You the good one. And you believed it for years. And now they're finally letting you know they don't like you either. And now you're complaining and you're crying about how Nick Fuentes is becoming mainstream. So all of this, by the way, is they're upset that Nick Fuentes is slowly climbing the ranks into mainstream. That Nick Fuentes is slowly becoming a household names, and there's no barrier or infrastructure in place to really counter him anymore because they helped destroy it, right? Y'all help cancel culture. So now people like Nick Fuentes have no real barrier in place, right? They'll continue to climb the ranks as hateful as they get. So Officer Tatum and the black MAGA preacher, they're upset that Tucker Carlson interviewed Nick Fuentes and didn't really push back against Nick Fuentes. And they believe that this is a slap in the face to black conservatives everywhere. As if the right wing cares about what a black conservative has to say. Bruh, y'all got used and spit out, bruh. They have no use for you guys anymore.
Explain yourself. You said on Candace Owens' show, you don't want a race mix. You a racist. Explain how you not a racist right now. That's what interview I would have. Why are they're gushing over each other, smelling butts? Turning point. Do you see the person that's on stage? I don't know how many times I got to say this. And people got mad at me and said, Brandon Tatum, you dividing the movement. I simply said he's antithetical to the mission of Turning Point USA. The stuff that he's doing is antithetical to what Charlie stood for. At some point, somebody got to drop their nuts and say, I can't have you out here doing this. We got young, impressionable young men, and this is what you infusing in their mind. Next thing you're gonna have Nick Fuentes up there?
This clown got some nerve. Imagine the damage you've done to impressionable young men and their perspective of black people when they click on videos like black people meltdown over losing EBT after government shutdown. And the videos that you've played was satire videos by alt-right accounts and other sellouts and AI videos of black folks complaining about EBT. But you went out of your way to play this and portray as if black folks are the only ones who are like on EBT or who are terrified of losing or like losing EBT, and painting black folks as if we're like all freeloaders and moochers. That's something that you did, by the way. And look at this smile and like on your face. Look at this smile on your face as you play a satire video portraying black folks as all moochers. This is you, right? And you convey this as if it was like a real serious black man who was talking about, no, this is an alt-right dude who make videos like disparaging black folks all the time. So, excuse me, right? If people are not galvanizing around you and cheering you on as you go against somebody who do the exact same thing that you do, you guys are both anti-black. And here's the thing, okay? So Officer Tatum was always under the impression that he was the good boy, all right? That he was the good one. And he believed that these people were really his friends. So when he says, oh, y'all going to invite Tucker Carlson too and Nick Fuentes too? He's upset that Tucker Carlson was invited to speak at Turning Point for a particular conference that he was not invited towards. Okay. And he's like, bro, Tucker Carlson represents everything y'all don't like. I represent everything y'all do like. I've been bootlicking and closing up to you guys for years, and y'all did not invite me. Now, I believe he was salty about this even before Charlie died, I believe.
So I was not invited to any of the Turning Point Faith events.
Oh, no, not you.
Which I'm one of the biggest Christians in the movement right now.
Okay.
That stand up for Jesus Christ on every platform that I've ever been on. But I didn't cry and say, that's...
I'm sure you did not, but you're doing that right now.
I said, you know what? I understand, man. God gave me a platform that's bigger than any platform you can give me anyway.
Man, keep God's name off your mouth.
So I can do my own Christian stuff on my own platform. I'm not tripping, bro. I'll still do the thing because I care about the kids. But I was like, it's all right, man. If they don't want me to speak because of something else, when they got Tucker up here talking bad about Jews, I said it is what it is. That's not my place. I don't run the organization. And you know why they didn't want me in Turning Point Faith? Probably because a donor said we don't want Brandon in Turning Point Faith because of his beliefs.
Look, I don't think it was your beliefs, officer. It was your
A donor probably told him we don't want Brandon there. A donor probably told him we don't want Candace there. And what did they do? They didn't allow me to be there.
From your perspective, you align and have the exact same values and rhetoric as Turning Point and Charlie Kirk, and you guys was one step in line. Candace and Tucker Carlson, they have similar values, but Tucker Carlson was allowed to be there, and he hasn't been able to live that down since. Okay, he's been relishing in that anger. He's been holding that in, and I just want to tell him, bro, they just don't rock with you, bro. They don't need you anymore, bro. You being a token does nothing for their movement anymore. They don't have to pretend like they like you or you're one of the good ones anymore. Okay? Yo, when Officer Tatum brings his frustrations or his complaint about Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes to his timeline, you know what you see? You don't see an overwhelming support in favor of Officer Tatum. In his own comment section, his own audience, what you see is them treating him like how they've been viewing him while they were pretending as if he was one of the good ones. They posting fried chicken and watermelon memes. They're posting like racial slurs against him. They're telling him when he reposted a video of Nick Fuentes saying the N-word in a derogatory manner, his own fans are saying, what did he say wrong? I didn't hear any egregious words. What are you crying about? Quit being a snowflake. They were giving him levels of abuse that I've rarely seen from a fan base to a creator. Okay. Now, because he was going through that, I guess one of his black conservative homies as well, called the Black MAGA Preacher, he found himself taking to Twitter to speak up for Brandon Tatum and speak up against racism in a conservative movement. And according to him, that he believes that Nick Fuentes and the rhetoric is going to take away the black support from the conservative movement. Okay, so let's hear what he has to say. Go ahead.
I'm telling you, if the GOP, if the Republican Party, J.D. Vance, Trump, and I love Trump, but if our leaders don't distance themselves from Tucker, if he's going to platform people like Nick Fuentes, I'm telling you, you're going to lose the black vote.
That's a lie from hell. Anybody who was ride or die with the far right-wing extremists, they not going anywhere, bruh. Because y'all don't identify with those people because of policies, right? Y'all don't align with those people because you guys have the same viewpoint on economics. Cut it out, bruh. People like you identify with people like that because you have this vendetta against your own people. You believe that your people were unfair to you. They probably maligned you. They treated you as if you were a pariah. And you feel like your get back is aligning with white supremacists who tell you you're the good one, they're the bad one. We welcome you in. And now those same people who you felt at home with while they were disparaging people who look like you now feel like those people have changed their colors because now they're disparaging you because they no longer need your token. Is no longer valuable. So no, people like you aren't going anywhere. Because where would y'all run to? You really think you can run back over to us? And I don't even have a political party, right? I don't. I'm on code for whatever we doing. Wherever we riding, I'm on code. You think people like you will be able to leave the GOP and then come back to us as if it's all good? Stay over there. It's not happening, bro. You not doing it. So cut the threats. No, you're not going nowhere. You will sit there and take that abuse. Because that's the only option you have.
The Hispanic vote and the conservative woman vote. You're going to lose the Christian vote. These people are going to destroy the coalition that Trump has built. That amazing coalition that had blacks, Hispanics, record high with Hispanic voters, record high with black voters. Me and others, Brandon Tatum's, the guy from PragerU, so many of us black conservatives have worked so hard to convince our people, the little people that have listened to us, that the Republican Party, and I know it's not true, but you know how it looks to black people and to Hispanics, that Tucker Carlson, one of the biggest voices of the right, is platforming a man that called black people N-words? That has publicly said that black people are inferior mentally, publicly, who has spoken against interracial marriage, who has praised Hitler and Stalin? You can kiss the 2028 election goodbye if they don't stop being political, our leaders don't stop being political, and distance themselves from Tucker Carlson. I like Tucker Carlson, and I'm not trying to cancel Tucker Carlson, but you cannot platform white supremacists and think that black people are going to support you or Hispanics.
But that's what got you to support them. Ain't that what happened? Listen, and the humor in all of this too is when their friends were anti-black, when their friends were disparaging black folks, when their friends were saying the N-word in the open and they say, it's just a word. What are you talking about? It's just a word, snowflake. It was people like this who was making videos supporting their right to say the N-word. And the humor in all of this is they're not turning their back on Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes and others because they're anti-black. They're turning on Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes because Nick Fuentes and others criticize BB. Come on, man. So you love another group of people more than you love your own? Sir. So he dropped this video and they ain't spare him, man. Nick Fuentes and his community did not spare this clown, man. They made this clown make a follow-up video with puppy dog eyes. I'm disgusted by the amount of racism I received. I thought racism didn't exist. I thought racism was a myth.
I have never experienced the level of racism and hatred, and I've always been controversial, but I've never seen the level of anger, hatred when it comes to speaking about the Jews. Not Israel, Jewish people. Not just Israel, the nation, which I'm behind biblically as support, but just Jewish people. And our leaders are doing a disservice by continuing to tell us to unite, to continue to tell us that there's not a problem. Yes, the left is horrible. We know how bad the left is. And I'm a proud conservative because I'm a conservative in values, even if the people who claim to be conservative, who claim to be Christian, who rap patriotism around the cross and blaspheme God and cuss and use profanity and use unchristlike character and demonize Jewish people like they're unredeemable, when Jesus said God so loved the whole world that he sent his only begotten son, that whoever believeth in him will not perish but have everlasting life. There's no part in that scripture that said it except the Jew. He came, actually the Bible says, for the Jew first and then for the Gentiles. So these people who are like reminisce of the KKK, when the KKK began to, and it's a very small percentage of the woke right. It's a very small percentage. It's not a lot. There's a very small percentage that follow the Nick Fuentes crowd. I've had nothing but great reception from most Republicans. And so I just want to say I won't stop speaking. You can't silence me. I don't care how many N-words you call me. I don't care what you say. I'm determined to stand for the Jewish people because they're God's people. And you're wrong. The Bible's right. And you're wrong. I don't care what church you think you go to or what false teaching you've heard. God hasn't changed his mind about Israel, and neither have I.
I applaud anyone sticking up for people they believe are oppressed, which we can probably argue about which groups are oppressed or not, but I applaud anybody. But where is this advocacy for your own people? Where's this advocacy for people who look like you? Where's the advocate? Where was this at when you was criticizing and condemning black folks for speaking up against racism? When you was calling black folks out for identifying, yo, this person right here is saying some effed up, man, you snowflake. He's not racist. You just don't understand. He just don't. Where was the advocacy at when we was calling out the dog whistling from your homies? But now you guys are online crying because apparently another group is being attacked that you were told was the chosen people. Y'all let me know in the comment section, man. All right, what do you guys think about this, man? Do y'all feel sorry, man, for Brandon Tatum and the Black MAGA preacher? Let me know in the comment section, okay? And if you're still watching this video, click on this video right here to find out why this new lawsuit would ultimately be really bad news for Drake. All right, this is terrible. Click on this video right here to find out what I'm talking about. Also, if you enjoyed this video and want to make videos like this, I have a step-by-step book on how to make your first $10,000 a month on YouTube fast and in a hurry, right? If you're interested, the link is in my description. I've made $90,000 in 28 days. I can teach you how to make 10K easily, bro. All right, and also this is my last week for consultations. So if you want consultations, link is in the description. This is my last week for consultations, okay? The link is in the description. Yeah, man. So if you enjoyed this video, click on this video right here to find out why Drake is currently receiving very bad news after this lawsuit drop. I'm gonna see you guys in this video. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.